Not right away. Maybe by uh, coming session, I'll just walk you first how exactly the dashboard will look like and what is the requirement of opening an account. Okay.
Okay.
So we are into the module. So few things are there. So I'll just rather. So I have just started one presentation. Made it full screen. Hope it is visible to you all. Okay. Quickly we just catch up from cybersecurity and then to the cloud. So we all know that we have CIA, that is the most important pillars of the security aspect of any. So confidentiality, integrity, and availability. I hope everyone is aware of this three terms. Confidentiality ensures the right person is accessing the account. Integrity ensures that the data is not tampered anywhere in the path between source to destination, and they have already been encrypted where when data is in transit. And availability, so that is the most important part, even from the cloud aspect, that availability is whenever and whatever and whoever can access and can have the access to the content which is there available on time or onto the cloud. Okay. So I just think we all have just gone through, and in the research profile already you people are knowing, and he is like uh, onto the top of the cybersecurity, and I'm also the authorized trainer and AWS solution architect certified, and I have the academic experience as well, and other places. So if you all can see different logos in there, so these are the things that you all can also go for the certifications. You all can just keep on having the certification, and that will help you to loss means, enrich your profile in the cloud. And anyone and anybody and from any domain can come to this cloud security cloud part, can become into the cloud, can take up a cloud job, no issues in that. And it is also for the people who are not having much interest into only coding or may not be knowing the coding. Even those people, there are like space for everybody in the cloud. Okay. So everyone, is the screen completely visible? Is there any issue?
Yeah, we can still see the screen.
Okay. So anyone can start with the cloud, no issues in that, because cloud has lot of segments and lot of areas where one who doesn't want to do coding can go to solution architect, can go to cloud administration, can go to IAM, and so many other things, right from logging, monitoring, other things are there. Same way in the cloud, uh, there is like for coding people, there are like already DevOps is there. So DevOps is one of the most leading job in the field of software development, and maximum requirement is there for the DevOps. Second to cyber security engineers, and then backed by cloud security engineers, cloud practitioners, and cloud for migration purpose also people are being hired. So can you, if you can see across the USA market, survey shows that there is DevOps engineers requirement, then there is solution architect and engineering requirement, then there is cloud system administrator, which does not require any coding or any research like that. You have to understand how the process is, and you just have to use your common sense to implement that, to design that. And nowadays, lot of AI tool has been integrated to the cloud platform itself. You just have to use the right tool for your application. So trends are keep on continuing in the cyber security, cloud security overall. So nowadays, if you're a software developer, you have to know the cloud. If you're a cyber security engineer, you should also know the cloud. If you're any other developer, maybe a web developer, maybe a Java full stack developer, or any database, data scientist, data analyst, whoever you are, because your maximum data is nowadays is present onto the cloud. So you should know how to get into the cloud, how to log in into the cloud, and how exactly access your data through the cloud. So all these things are required. So am I okay till this part? Yeah, is there anyone? Are you on? Everyone is able to understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, so so let's go ahead with the cloud, and I want everyone to just be like response whenever you are having any smallest doubt. Just keep asking that so that we can know that how exactly you are understanding it. Okay. Today I am having one technical issue, so that I'm not able to mark it on the screen. So if you are lost, just remind me back again. So what is cloud? We all, I think I have interacted with you all. So everyone has told me something about the cloud. So cloud is just nothing but a kind of online thing. So we have lot of definitions of the cloud, and cloud means online storage. But now we are looking for cloud computing, and cloud computing is most required to be secured entity or process. So cloud computing means whatever you were doing the computation on your laptop, maybe on local local server or local data center. Now you are putting everything onto the online, even your processing. So you might have come across lot of such tools which are giving you access to change, modify, do any processing online as well. So, have you heard of online image to Word to PDF converter, online image filter, or maybe online converter from this document to that document converter? All those are having some processing, and that is onto the cloud as cloud supported or cloud backed only. Okay. So one of the important aspects of cloud computing is you can have compute power. Compute power means processor and the RAM. You can have database storage. Again, it inside that you will have processing. You can have IT resources. You can have other cloud services via internet, and you can have a very best model of using the cloud for your proper billing system, which is understood as pay as you go. So pay as you go is one of the important aspects for a cloud computing. Okay. So whatever you are using, you just pay for that. Don't pay anything extra. Don't pay for any uh, hardware you are already taking it. Whatever is the per minute, maybe per hour, maybe per day, maybe per request charges, we just have to bear that. So I'll just give you a small review about cloud computing because we have to reach up to cloud security. Okay, so for that, we should know what is cloud computing. So cloud computing offers various good characteristics. Okay, so plenty of characteristics are there, and then we'll know what are the different cloud service models and what are the deployment models. Okay, so this slide from the NIST, um, and this is like having everything as in compact. So very important characteristics are these five characteristics of the cloud computing. So there are five things which are uh, maybe advantages and maybe very bad things related to the cloud. Okay, so I just use this uh, very first thing that is called as broad network access. So if your company, if you are an employer, or maybe you are having any organization, if you are making it onto the cloud, then this broad access network will help you in most of the way, right? So if you have a cloud, so definitely broad access network will help you to uh, go through, like you can access your resource from any corner of the world, provided you have the internet over there, right? Second is rapid elasticity. Can just anyone let me know that from cloud perspective, what do you understand with this word of elasticity? Okay. There is another term for this called as scalable. Okay. So anyone would like to add any one sentence over here? Elasticity. Anybody understands what's that?
It's to quickly scale resources up based on demand.
Okay. That's correct. That's very good.
Can you come
Elasticity.
closer to your mic the way you did just a moment ago? So it's more clear then. We can hear your voice clearly.
Uh, just before this, is it okay now? Are you able to hear properly?
Yeah, it's a little better.
Okay, okay, no issues. So yeah, so that's right. That what is rapid elasticity? So elasticity refers to scalable, and yeah, that's correct. That on-demand scaling. So that is the very required part because a local data center does not have that facility. So let's say you are having your software is in demand or your product is in demand and lot of people are accessing your product online. So then at that time a lot of traffic will come, and if your local data center is there, it may not be able to manage or handle that much traffic. So you need to scale up your hardware, like you need to add extra servers and extra storage and so much things. Once you have purchased all that, and if your client database goes down, so again you are in trouble because you have some extra infrastructure now. So how to scale that infrastructure? Means, what will you do with that infrastructure? Maybe you will wait for next year in the same season to have the same kind of response. But here in the cloud, elasticity is just in a blink. You just request for more data, more server computing power. You just request for the extra storage or maybe some extra load balancing part, and you'll be able to get this through cloud providers. So they will give you this, and immediately you'll be able to have better resources for your client. So that is the elasticity. Then there is measured services. So measured services deals with like many of the services which are there for the specific use, and that measured services will be helpful to like set up any of the business model whatever is there. Then there is on-demand self-service. You can just enable, disable many of the things whatever you want in the cloud. So that is another important uh, facilities given from cloud computing. Then resource pooling. So that is again a very best thing, that whatever resources you are having online, and if you want to share it with your any other branch, maybe any other parent or sister company, wherever it is very much possible. So these are the essential characteristics. Everybody should know what is the characteristics of the cloud. Okay. And now coming to the service model. So this is extremely important. This part that we should know as a cloud security engineer or cloud security practitioner, cloud solution architect, cloud administrator. Everyone should know all three services. So these are the three service models. One is infrastructure as a service, second is platform as a service, and third is software as a service. So infrastructure is performed as IaaS. We mostly call it as. Then there is platform as a service PaaS. Then software as a service PaaS. So we have asked, PaaS, and SaaS. Okay. So nowadays services are so much integrated and so well offered through every cloud that nowadays we don't say these words. Okay. We have XaaS, that is called as anything as a service. Anything. X means anything. So anything as a service. XaaS, because we have security as a service. Then we have platform as a network as a service. We have function as a service. We have management as a service. We have many other things as a service. So that's good. Okay. So these are the three basic service models that we all must know. I'll just explain you these terms in very detail once we go ahead with further part. Then there is deployment model. So there are four types of clouds are there. Okay. One is public, one is private, one is hybrid, one is community cloud. Community cloud is recently added. Okay. So public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud, they are interrelated. They are related. So we'll just see that detail. So I'll just walk you through. So what is infrastructure as a service? If you all can see this screen, so there are three different colors. With that, we have highlighted something. So one is light blue color, which these layers are actually uh, forming the infrastructure as a service. Then two more layer add, you will get platform as a service, and entire layers will get software as a service. Okay, so I'll just highlight in bit. I'll just explain a bit over here, that if you are just renting out hardware from the cloud provider, maybe from AWS, maybe from Azure, maybe from GCP, so all three will give you the hardware. Hardware means you will be able to select how much compute power you want. Do you want dual core computer processor? Do you want i7, i3, whatever processor speed, you will get it. How much core you want, you will get it there. Okay, so that core part you will be having, and you will have the RAM, you will have the storage. So if you are just renting out uh, infrastructure only, so in a common term, in cyber security, in cloud security, we call this as bare metal. So we are just renting out bare metal. Okay. Am I audible? Everyone is there. All right. Can you just acknowledge?
Yes.
Okay, sure. So bare metal means you are just purchasing a brand new laptop without any operating system, without any software installed in it. So same thing goes for the cloud model as well. So cloud service model suggests that you just If you want, if you have full team of developer, if you have full team of deployment, if you have full team of operations, maybe combined people, nowadays they are called as DevOps. So if you have those kind of people, you just take our bare metal, right? Bare metal like infrastructure only. Okay, and then cloud realized that we should also offer some APIs and some integration of the middleware, like dependency. So if you want to, let's say, host a website online, what is the requirement? First, you have to purchase the website, then you have to deploy your your whatever web pages you have made. You have to deploy somewhere. You have to save it somewhere on online. So that is called as so for that you have to run one web server as well. So that is maybe Apache, maybe any other engine. So they will host your website. So all these are called as dependency. Our operating system comes with that also. So you have to first decide which operating system you want to install. So all these services are included in the pack. So even nowadays cloud offers you that you take out hardware from my side, also take the operating system, also take any dependency. Let's say you want to host any Java application there. So we will have the Java platform ready for you. We will have the web platform ready for you. We will have the web server, database server, or maybe app server related dependencies ready for you. Okay. For you means for the organization, for the company, for the enterprise. I'm not talking about individual person. So cloud is offering services to these companies. Even we can offer these, we can also take this service as an individual as well. So no issues in that. Both ways it works. So that is called a platform as a service. Then third one is the software as a service. Now let's say you say that I don't have any proper developer there. We just have the people to manage it. We don't want to code much. We don't want to hire maximum developer. Maybe I have very less time to go live with my unique way or maybe unique design or something. I just want any general design and I just want to launch my software. Okay, so for that purpose, uh, I'll just give you example of Uber. So Uber is a taxi model where cab you can just call out a cab or something. Similarly, there is the Amazon website for shopping, maybe any other website. Nowadays, clouds are having all these things just at their fingertips. You just say that I want Uber like model. Within 3 days, your entire system will be up and live. Okay, so that is related to the software as a service. Everything will be offered by them. You just pay the charges for it. So that is called as software as a service. It will give you the API, means apps will be able, your clients will be able to install the app in their cell phone, maybe in their laptop, and they from there they will be able to just uh, they will be able to offer the services. So that is called a software as a model. So there is like natural evolution to everything. Same way it has happened to web also. First, this way, like if you can see, first we had the websites onto the internet. Later we started getting the application because of the JS, because of the PHP, because of the HTML5, and then there were different developer platforms where you can just develop software online, and then we have compute and other storage. So like everything is there onto the web now. Okay, so we can use the web only as our complete solution. Okay, everything is available. So let us talk about deployment model. I have talked about three services: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. right? Now talking about different deployment models. So deployment models are what? That is the way your cloud can be configured. For what purpose do you want cloud? Okay, so that will define deployment model. Yeah. So very first is the public cloud. Public cloud is where anyone can take the compute service, database service, and the storage service. Even companies, enterprise can also take that service, and individual can also take that service. If you can see, enterprise services are being accessed by the internet, and that is onto the public cloud, and then user can access that. Okay, so there are three giant companies for this public cloud. Okay, so three giant companies are there for the public cloud. My marketing tool is not exactly working. Otherwise, I'll just try to do it today with the around. So private cloud is offered by three giant companies. One is AWS. Second, which company is there? Azure. And third is Google's GCP, that is Google Cloud Platform. So these three are the giant companies which are there for the public cloud. There are few others. Okay, they are also available, but maximum share across the globe on into cloud is taken up by these three companies. And AWS holds maximum share in that. Okay, so that is the public cloud. What is private cloud? Where your common services are already for the closed group, like pharma companies. So pharma companies maybe having some uh, off-site, on-site, and different. They are having their compute power. They are having storage services. They are have data database services. All things will be there, but that will be for a closed structure. That is not available for the individual or public to access. That is called as private cloud. In the private cloud, internal communication or intra network is there, but internet is not there. So that is called as private. Example, Oracle and IBM have built many of the private cloud for many of the enterprises. And then we are talking about hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud is what? Where the cloud, public cloud and private cloud both can communicate. Part of the company's thing is there onto the public cloud where anyone can access. And part of the compute services, part of the resources are there onto the private side, and nobody is allowed to access that other than the employees or within the organization. So that is called as hybrid cloud. What can be the example over here? Government, okay, all the federal services, all these things are the examples for this kind of deployment. Where, let's say, in India, there is Aadhaar, in there it is their social security number. So all these things are accessible to the public for their account. So that is the one example of public cloud, which part they have left open. And there are authentication and other parts which are going other sides, and they are related to the public private side. So hybrid cloud is mixture of public and private. And coming to the last module or last model, which is called a community cloud. So community cloud is what? Which is meant for organization, maybe a trust, maybe common public, maybe one community entirely, or maybe one continent entirely, maybe one area, one region, whatever it can be. And that is called as community cloud. Okay, which includes public or private cloud, no problem in that. Many people are able to access that service, may be able to modify that service, may be able to change that service. That is coming into the community cloud. Okay, so these four models are there that we are having. So I hope you just understand that service models are there, that is three, and deployment models are there, that is four. Am I clear on it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, okay, thanks. So now we are going ahead with the how exactly cloud is there, how is their architecture, and then I'll show you the dashboard of the AWS. Okay. So architecture wise, how exactly we are having architecture? So definitely whenever you try to access any cloud, you need to have one main account. And how exactly accounts are opened, and they multiple accounts are grouped together. All these are coming under this process called as architecture. So architecture of the cloud is starting with the account management option. So Azure or AWS or GCP all are having their different set of hierarchy, and based on that they are giving the account. Based on hierarchy they are giving the subscriptions and so many other things. Okay, so this is one of the example that is shown for the Azure. So if you can see the hierarchy, there is management group, and each management group can purchase the account, that key logo, they are called as subscription. So whenever you make any account into Azure, that is called as subscription. And then you divide them into different way, that is called as resource group. And at the bottom, you are having different resources. Okay, so this is one hierarchy level for the Azure. Okay, if you're not getting this completely, no issues in that. This is just I'm putting 100 deliberately. I'm telling you 100 of things so that our requirement is only 10 things. So we will be remembering 10 things. So no problem in that. Just get along with me. Don't resist. Just keep accepting whatever I'm telling for some time, and then you will be able to connect the dots. Okay. So even for AWS, hierarchy level is given. There is one organization root. So whenever you open any account in AWS, with the very first administrative account which is there for each of the company, that is called as a root account. And from the root account, you can make up to 1,000 different accounts. They're called as IAM accounts. IAM, Identity and Access Management. We'll go into much detail of this IAM process. Okay, so that thing is there. Then there is cloud. From the cloud perspective, we have some keywords that we should know. The very first keyword is called as landing zone. So landing zone, one of the important keyword, which is actually used like a sandbox kind of thing, where you experiment, you design everything in that constraint environment, and once you're testing, your everything is okay, everything checks out, your checklist is okay, then you can expand that landing zone into full project. Same way, there is CWP, there is CASB, all these are the different services also. And same with the same name, you will find the tools also into the cloud. Then there is governance. So you all know that there is governance and or compliance model. So you have to comply with as per federation law of that country, maybe that continent, maybe that company. maybe that domain. If you are in medical domain, pharma domain, medicine domain, so there is some different model. So there are different compliance model also. So that comes with the different parts. Okay, and governance where company higher authorities of the company should be able to manage the complete account. So in Azure, it is called as management. In AWS, we call this as organization root. Then there is IAM security, IAM control that is called as access and identity, service management. All these comes under subscription. And in AWS, we understand that as organization unit. So similarly, there are different functions. In Azure, whatever we call as a resource group, in AWS, it is referred as member account. In Azure, we call every option which is available for us as a resource. While in AWS, we call them as account. I'm just using these words. Please just get along with. Don't worry about it. Okay, I will go in much detail of each and everything, and you will get to know. These are the terminologies only. Okay, I have just a small comparison between three major cloud companies, that is Azure, AWS, and GCP. And there are the components. These components we will encounter while practicing, while doing hands-on onto the cloud. And we are specifically choosing AWS because of maximum share of this AWS everywhere, so that I'm using. So very first thing is account. So what is the name of when you open any account in Azure? It is called a subscription. When you open account into AWS, it is called as account. When you open in GCP, that is named as a project. Then what is VMware? VMware is called as virtual machine, virtual hardware. Because I'll tell you what is virtualization is later on. So there is a virtual resource, which is in the Azure is called as resource, or in other term, layman term, we understand that as virtual machine. While in AWS, that is called as EC2 instance that we will set up also. Then in GCP, it is called as GCE. Okay. Then there is availability zone, region, network troubleshooting, these line routing, firewall. All these things are there that will come to know when we practice it further. Few more components, and how are they pronounced, how are they called, what is their alternate name into different cloud. All these are shown here. Definitely I'll share this presentation with you so that you can revise anytime, so that you can just catch up. Okay, but while practicing it we'll be able to know this, so no problem. Okay, then there is reason and all. I'll go to this in a bit. Okay, first let me show you something else. So while I'm highlighting the AWS, I'm also going for to going for the AWS account as well. So I'll just tell you how exactly AWS will look like. So whenever you open any account in AWS, whenever you open very first account in AWS, what is that called in AWS? Root account. In Azure, it is called as subscription. Okay. So this is one of the tool which I have got from AWS Academy, but I'll tell you how exactly you will get that account later. Okay. See, it is advisable that everyone should be able to have the access to their AWS account. Initial days, you just learn by watching, and then later you can just use your own AWS account so that you can host your website, maybe your um, uh, uh, CV you host in there, and for 1 year you will get become access to that. Okay, and there is $100 of access which is free for you, and after that your credit card may be charged with that. So we have to very cautious about that. Okay, so now I'm just giving you one hands-on or just know how about the one of the cloud that is called as Azure, and then we'll just get along with the terminologies which I left in the presentation. So once this AWS button turns green, we will be able to start the services. So whenever you open any account, make sure you have not used that email ID earlier to open the AWS account, and make sure you have not used that credit card earlier to open that AWS account. You can directly go to aws.amazon.com, and then we can start registering ourselves with a email ID and one credit card. Initially, there will be $1 credit which will be blocked for 24 hours, and after that it will be released to your credit card account. And then you will have 1 year of free tier, 1 year of free tier access for AWS. Okay, so that is Amazon Web Services, and you can host, you can run certain applications, you can practice, you can set up some security protocol, and you can write that in your CV, you can write that in your GitHub account, you can post in on your LinkedIn that you have done this kind of, you have used this kind of services, you have done this onto the AWS cloud. Okay, so all these things will be able to show with your free account, which is valid for 1 year the day you open with that credit card. Make sure not to use any paid service. Make sure not to cross the limit of this. And cloud security deals with that also. How we exactly will secure the infrastructure, how we exactly will secure the storage, how we exactly will secure the account. And so that, and also how exactly will have a tab on logging and monitoring, and how exactly we'll use the alert services so that we can get to know about any issues and get to know about my billing. Okay, so uh, is it visible to everyone? Can you all just read the upper black line, whatever written in that upper black line? Is it visible for you all? Can you just
Yeah.
confirm? Okay, so this is the default view of AWS account. This is the cloud account which can be opened by any company, maybe by individual, and this is called as root account. The very first account we open with our credit card, credentials, and with our email ID, and we'll get this kind of account. So first of all, we have to understand how exactly this account is there, what are their options, and some terminology for today. So this is first hands-on session where we are just getting to understand how exactly this um, root account look like. So very first time when you log in, you will have to use this aws.amazon.com. By using this, you will be able to get this page, and then you put your email ID and the password that you have already set at the time of account creation, and you will be able to get the login. There are other ways to log in as well. I'll tell you that in later part. Okay, so that is the login. This login is called a console login. Over after console, you understand console means logging. Okay, logging method. So console is the easiest way because we are very much comfortable with the console. When you get uh, uh, a page where there are the fields where you find login button, where you find the ID to put, password to put, and press the login button. That is called as user interface. But in the companies, in the um, most of the servers, you don't get this kind of UI. You will not get console in the form of UI. You will get the console in the form of CLI. What is CLI? Command line interface. Command line interface means a black screen with the cursor blinking on there. So that there you have to type every command and press enter. And then you have to assume that what is the hierarchy inside that. There is the all those folders are there. Desktop folder, then there is document folder, download folder, like we have in our Windows or any Mac OS. Everywhere we have the folder. We just double click it and open it. That is another story. But in server side, you have to remember each and every command so that you can get into that account, get into inside that directory and open something. You can give a path to something and you can run certain services. So you have to type the command in there. That is called CLI. Okay, I'll show you that also. Okay. So very first this black bar as you can see over there on the top, that is the very important bar. Everybody should know what is in the cloud, what is this bar. So I'll start with the very right corner of this web page from this console. Here on this root account, I'm going from the very right side. Very right side, if I click, so very first thing it is showing me my account name. Since I'm using Amazon Academy account, okay, I'm not using my personal root account. That is why some other name is coming and student is written there. Okay, and below to that there is account, there is organization, there is service code, then there is service quota, then there is billing and cost management, which is important term, and then there is logout button. So at the very right corner into console of UI, you will find your login details. Who is the user? Who is the root user? You will get that idea from that. After that, there is very important aspect which is coming is called as selection of the reason. So if you click in there, you will get lot of reason. Okay, what is reason? Now I'm coming back to the PPT for just for the explanation. Okay, so what is reason? So whenever I talk about cloud services, whenever I talk about online computing, all these things, then somewhere on this earth there has to be server of it. We are saying it online, but online does not mean that you are having anywhere onto the cloud or something. We are just saying that it is on cloud. That is one terminology. But it means that somewhere you are having server. So yeah, there are lot of places where Amazon, Azure, and Google has made their server, and that server is installed there with the redundancy, means with the fail-safe mechanism, with the proper backup. So that area, that geographical area is called as region. So geographical area is called as region. So you have whenever you are about to launch any service into AWS, whenever your company, your organization is about to start any service for the client, very first thing is that they should select the proper region. Okay, so region is the geographic area, geographic coverage through where or from where they should be able to get the service for their client, maybe provide the service to their client. Okay, so region is means one of the location. Okay, so that is the region. So for AWS, we are having different regions. Almost same is the area for the Azure as well, because 90% of the geographic area lies onto the equator side of the earth. That's why you will find lot of regions which are situated onto the most of the equator areas of the earth. Through there they can communicate. So very first region in US, AWS, Amazon has four different regions in US. One is North Virginia. The code name for that is called as US East 1. Second is Ohio, which is US East 2. Then there is California, North California, US West 1. Then Oregon, US West 2. Then it is alphabetically arranged later. So we are first having Asia Pacific. So in Asian countries, these are the presence of the AWS. AWS servers are present on these locations. You'll find the actual reasons there. So even in India, there is two AWS regions. Here you are having one, but for paid services you are having two. One is in Mumbai and second is in Hyderabad. Okay, so there are two places where you'll find AWS the region. Then there is Osaka, then there is Seoul, then there is Singapore, then there is Sydney, then there is Tokyo. All these are the Asian countries region. Then in central region you have Canada. Is it visible there? Can you are you able to read the things or should I enlarge part by part?
No, we
Audible?
can read that.
Okay, okay. So Canada is the central again. It has one region over there. Then in Europe we have certain region. As you can see, there is one is there in the Frankfurt, which is very famous for AI based AI kind of applications. Then there is Ireland. Then there is London, Paris, then Stockholm. Then there is uh, South America. Again, we have only one region over there. And then there are 13 different more regions which are not enabled for my account because AWS has given me this account to teach. Okay. But when you open with your own credit card, you will have these extra reasons also available to you. And you can select any one reason to host your all the resources to start your services. But for free tier, for your AWS account, you will have US East 1 and US East 2. These are the two. So there has to be proper understanding that which region we should select. Let's say maximum of the client base or the user database of your company is there into Asian country. So it is better, it is advisable that you select the region where you host everything for the cloud should be into Asia Pacific. In Asian country, you try to host, you try to select your region. No doubt you can also select any region which is there in the list across the globe. But that will add to some delay, that will add to some latency. If you want to avoid that, you just use the region which is very clear, very near to the your client database. Let's say your maximum clients are there in the Europe. So you have to select the European region as well. And that will be more advisable. This is how the region selection goes. Because in every region, there are subdivision of the resources. They are called as AZ. They are called as availability zone. So we have to then decide which availability zone we want to use. And in availability zone, they are coming into the redundancy, means backup with the backup. So if one reason, one availability zone fails, immediately services will be offered to another availability zone. We call them AZ, the availability zone. Okay, so same thing is there for the Azure as well. Same thing is there for the another cloud, Google as well. Okay, so second part, very important part is selection of proper reason. Okay, let's say your users are there out onto the global presence and they are almost in equal proportion across the globe. Then you select any of the reasons. Then there is no much difference in that. So that is how you have to select the reason into AWS. Okay. And then after the reason, by default for your free account, please remember you can use only North Virginia and you can only use Ohio. Only these two, not others. They will not give you that option as well. Okay. Then third thing which is there onto this black strip is the icon of the setting. So when you go to this setting, you can just go to more user setting. You can customize this entire UI. Then there is question mark which is called a support. If you have any account related issue, any dispute to raise, you can use this button. Then there is one bell icon which is for the notification. So there will be lot of notifications. So lot of other reasons notifications you'll get what is open issue, what are the scheduled changes, any other things. Okay, whatever alert if you have set, it will come over here. Okay, and then this one more icon you can see that is called as self scripting. Okay, so self in cloud it is called as cloud shell. What is shell? Shell is a secured way of communication. Okay, like in internet, if you want to securely access something, you have to use VPN. Same way here, whenever you want to log in your server, because your server is now online, it is not the local data center. So you have to, you are sitting at your home and you want to use your Gmail account. So again, very first time logging, you have that detail will be sent via cell. So same way here also, if you want to access any resource in AWS, you have to use this cloud cell. However, we are not using that because we are right now using the user interface. We are using console. But if I click in there, so a black window with the cursor will open. This is how exactly you will see into any of the servers, and it is just connecting, and you will be able to start or run anything. So it will prepare my terminal and see it is saying something as cloud shell dash user at the rate IP address. There is one IP address over there, and this IP address is actually a public IP address through which I will be able to reach to my this AWS account. So every account, every resource which is accessible through internet in any of the cloud is actually defined by a public IP address. That is why Ingres sir has taken up, has told you about IP addresses and other things. You all can just go and understand what are the different IP address and types of IP address, CIDR of IP address. Okay, and wherever required, I'll explain that also. And then there is one search bar which is called as search. So whatever services you want to use, you can just search it out. I have used recently certain services over here. That is why it is showing me. In your account, it will not show because you have not searched for any services recently. And here it is search box. Then there is one menu bar over here which is called as services. So when you click on this, you will get the alphabetically arranged all the AWS services which are available. Some of them are paid services, some of them may be free for your account, some of them may be blocked for your account, some of them you have to pay extra charges. But everything will be written there, everything will be in the pop-up, everything will tell you before using service, you will be notified that if you will get the charge about this much charge for this much charge for this like that. So very first thing analytics, then there is application integration. If you click anything in between, you'll get this sub menu here. There is for the analytics, data scientists are using this very famous tool for from AWS. It's called as Athena. Then there is in application integration that is for all the web devs, so they can use this. Then blockchain related application is also there. One service is there. Then there is a business application. There is time for updation. Then fabric pinpoint, chain. All these are for the business application and management side. Then cloud financial management. Again, we have billing conductor, marketplace, and we are more interested into this. The very first thing which we have to understand is called as compute. So cloud computing starts with this compute services. Compute means processing power. There are different power services which are available. Same way you will find different services available into Azure as well. Same way you will find it into the Google as well. Those who want to learn Azure, they should start from Azure AZ900 course. AZ900 is giving you some basics of this, and everything related to AZ900 is available on Azure website for free. You just read the documentation. Practice here, read there, it is okay. Then there is AWS App Runner, Batch, and very important is the EC2 instance. So we'll be using this EC2 service as well, Elastic Beanstalk as well. Lambda is again one of the most widely used without server computation. Then there is a Lightsail for managing and hosting private servers, maybe website hosting. Then AWS Outpost. All these are having processing power, all these services. Then there is container and lot of other database, developer tools, lot of migration and transfer. If any company wants to migrate their data from A to B, so we have different services from Amazon. There is quantum related technology which they are just tapping into. Then there is network and content delivery. All this is related to the security part. So we have to go through this and we'll understand how exactly VPC, Route 53 and other direct connect and all these things are working. That is for content delivery and the networking. This is for the security purpose as well. Then there are machine learning, governance, media service, robotics, satellite related also, then security and identity. This is second part what we have to understand from cloud security. So we have to use some of these services to manage. Very important is the IAM, then the firewall, then guard duty, then Amazon inspector. All these things we are having and we have to get along with these kind of services. If you understand or any of this service is not difficult to understand, it is very easy, it is very understandable. Anyone can understand. It is not that difficult. Only you have to use with the common sense and understand how exactly security can be enforced in it. That is all. So then there is the on the page, if you scroll further, you'll get the AWS welcome, health related things, and then cost and uses. You have to keep a very good tab on it. Otherwise, you will be charged in your credit card. Okay, so if you follow all the instructions carefully, you may not get attract the charges. Okay, in the last batch, we did some experiments, and in that one service we left open, and that charged around $20 to one of the candidates. So that has happened. So that is why please follow the proper instructions and do visit your Amazon Web Service this cost and users page every day. So then you will see the changes in this bill. So then you will be understanding. You will know that whether I'm getting charged or not. If you are getting charged, it means you have left any service running. Until unless it is not required, don't leave it running. in any company, if you go and in any organization, if you keep any services running unnecessarily, it will cost them. Okay, so that is what precaution everyone should take into the cloud. Okay, so these are the different services we are having, and this is the reason which we need to select. I'll just show you what the other reasons are also. Okay, so this is the very first understanding that how exactly AWS Cloud UI or Cloud root account looks like. Okay, and see, I have connected through US East one. That is why in the address part also I'm getting US East one is written there. Okay, if you cannot see, I am just announcing that US East one is written there. We can use any of the services. You can just search any service. Let's say I'm searching for Elastic. So if I type anything, it will come. Related services will keep on coming. We can select any of the services we want. Okay. Elastic Beanstalk is also one of the service that we need to understand. Okay. So the first thing is you have to select the proper reason before starting any of your services, and then you can select any of the services from this, and then you can get along. Now, once your services are up and running, there comes the role of this cloud security. How is it? Means if you know the cloud, that is okay. But how to secure the services which are there into the cloud, that is related to the cloud security protocol. So we can use certain services which is already built into the AWS, and we can use certain settings that we can enforce into AWS. The same thing we can do for other type of clouds as well. So I'll just go back to presentation over here so that I can show you one summary point of this region. So if you can see different kind of dots which are present, they are the different regions which are there. And few regions are already started, few are coming soon. Okay, so if you can see some orange color and red color, they have just started and maybe coming soon. Okay, this data is up to 22, so maybe after that some more would have started. So this is from Amazon. They have started this AWS service back in 2004 when they started the sale on their website, and suddenly their website was crashed and nobody was able to get the access. Then they thought of this kind of system which can scale up and scale down automatically with the number of requests. So they started with this idea. They developed this Amazon Web Services, and they have successfully implemented that into Amazon website. Later, they realized that this kind of arrangement is needed by everyone, every organization. And since then, they have started to rent out their infrastructure, rent out their platforms, rent out their software. Nowadays, they have every cloud provider is having a number of software which are there located online onto the cloud, and immediately you can go live with your idea, with your startup, with your business idea. Okay, so that can be done. So this is from Amazon side. Amazon having Amazon's presence, as you can see, it is there almost globally. Okay, so these are the reasons of the AWS. Same way, this is the presence of Azure region. Azure is Microsoft cloud computing. Recently, maybe last month, you must have come across that there was a company called as CloudStrike who has given one update or patch in Azure, and the systems which were running onto the Azure website, Azure cloud, they just got crashed, and there was a global shutdown for some time, some hours of the time. That was like a lot to many businesses. Even Indigo flight systems were on to Azure, so their booking systems were not running at that time. Okay, so this is how like this means I'm just highlighting few challenges which are there onto the cloud. I'll just talk about one last case study about the AWS that in AWS what has happened, they have started scaling system and uh, irrespective of your traffic, your resources can go up to maximum size. You can increase the amount of RAM, amount of uh, uh, hard disk, means data, this storage services and so many things. What has happened that then there was DDoS attack, means DDoS attack. DDoS attack is distributed denial of services. So across the globe, there were some hacker who have targeted this AWS. They kept on increasing the traffic onto AWS instances, EC2 instances, and EC2 instance was just keep on expanding itself. Later on, they realized that there was no actual customer, no actual client, and suddenly they had lot of they have attracted lot of charges. Okay, because see, if there is a sale and lot of people are coming on your website and your traffic is increasing, you can boost your resources so that you can efficiently manage your website and requests arising from lot of people from across the globe. That is okay, but what if everything was just for show and actually there was no customer? This was just an attack. So ultimately you have paid for more charges. So there has to be a countermeasure for this kind of attack. So yeah, cloud is also vulnerable to some of the things. One of them is DDoS attack, which is very much significant for the cloud services. Because if there is no one and still you are just keep on increasing your resources, definitely you will have to pay lot of charges to AWS. So that is what is there. So I was explaining this availability zone. So we just got to know about that every Azure, see Azure's presence is in region, number of region is 56, AWS is 24, GCP is 24. These are old data, but it just give you a small comparison. AZ is the called as availability region. So availability region is there. Then there is a network. The name of the network is different. Network which we set up in Azure is called as VNet. Network which we set up in AWS is called a virtual private cloud. It is called as VPC. In Google also it is called as VPC network. Same thing. Means every time you will be having different names, but their meaning, their working will be same for each of the cloud. Okay. So this is all about the understanding of the dashboard of the cloud, that how exactly we are having services, and the region, why to select the proper region, what is the usefulness of selecting the proper region, that detail. Okay, so this is Azure portal. So if you try to open Azure, any cloud services in the Azure, you will get it like that. Okay, so I hope this portal or this console of AWS is now that black switch is somewhat understandable to you. Okay, so is it fine, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. So that is for today. We had the understanding that how exactly AWS is there. Initially, I have to talk a lot. I have to give you lot of information. This is not for just remember everything, just to understand. Okay, I want you all to just see understanding everything. Maybe from second session onwards, we all will be able to
Okay.
just understand how we can enforce the security in there, how can we use the administration in there, how can run any setup. Okay, so all these things are possible over here. So at least for coming two sessions, I'll be explaining through this academy protocol, academy portal, and after that, whoever is interested, we all can just um, you all can just start and parallelly open your AWS account, and later you can share the screen and follow my lead, and we all can implement or put some project, or we can do some demonstration in your own personal account as well. So we'll be doing it after two sessions. Okay. Even next day also tomorrow there is a session for cloud security. Okay, so please keep attending this. Then only we'll be able to understand the thing. And this is very promising uh, field as cloud security, cloud admin, cloud architect. So it is very much evolving, and almost every company has come on to the cloud. So for any other purpose, you have to get into the cloud. That is why cloud understanding is important. This is one of the cloud AWS. There is Azure, there is GCP. So all three minimum at least know how exactly we are logging in there. Everywhere process is same, everywhere technologies are same. Their names may be different. Some of the recent services may be extra here and there, but otherwise every cloud model is almost similar. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. Okay, and we'll just catch up tomorrow in the next session about this, and then we'll start certain services and we'll try to implement it. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Okay, sir.
Don't want us to create an account yet, correct?
I request if any doubt is there, anyone want to ask any question or something related to it, so you are welcome, and otherwise we can stop this session now. So most of the them are theoretical, so maybe you might be knowing, and the next session onwards we will do more hands-on, and that will give you more better understanding.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, okay, take care.
Thank you.
One by one, you all can just leave the meeting so that I can know that you all are okay. Then I'll stop the call.